Welcome to this very relaxing class. My name is Ria, I'm the founder of CrossYoga and the host of this channel. So this practice that we'll have today is often called Yin Yoga. It means that you'll stay in each pose at least 3 minutes, and it's all about stretching, so no strength poses at all. To get the most out of this, I would advise you to get a bolster or a blanket, a few blankets, or a pillow, whatever you have that will support your practice a little bit. And even blocks or water bottles or something like that might be helpful. So bring some gear. And also, you might want to listen to some music. I will not be speaking through the whole class, so if you like your mind to listen to the music, there is a Spotify link below, and there is a link to some nice music for YouTube if you're not on Spotify. And I'll just read a little bit from Psalm 31 in the NIV version. And this is from my devotional book called Meditative Movements, if you like to find it at Amazon. So close your eyes and find a position, maybe on your bolster or on your block, so you can sit quiet. Relax your face and your shoulders. If you have a hard time breathing deeply, maybe try to get in as much air as you can in a huge inhale, feeling you expand your chest, your belly. Hold your breath for a second or two and then exhale. And maybe that expansion of your lungs makes it easier for you to breathe more deeply, more slowly. I'm reading from Psalm 31. In my alarm I said, I'm cut off from your sight. Yet you heard my cry for mercy when I called to you for help. And a little bit later it says, be strong and take heart, all you who hope in the Lord. Be strong and take heart, all you who hope in the Lord. So where you don't feel strong, open your mouth and exhale out. And let God be strong for you. Open up your eyes. Let's get ready for the first stretch. So extend your legs out, wide-legged, seated forward fold. Now if you get sore underneath your ankle there, just put something under. Maybe you sit differently on your mat than I do here. If you have anything to support your practice, as we're going to lean forward, maybe you'll build up some stuff here. So Yin Yoga, or relaxing yoga, whatever we call it, is all about leaning in to the stretches. Not holding back, but not going so deep that you feel it hurts, okay? So You might feel it, but it should be somewhat a nice stretch. Most of them, at least. So lean forward, stacking whatever you might have, depending on how low you can go or want to go. Toes pointing up, and then lean forward with your head on the bolster or whatever you have going on here in front of you. We want to try to relax our legs. So if you feel like you're not sure if you can relax, you're always welcome to touch your legs just to see and notice where your muscles are and if they're relaxed. Sometimes we need that touch to get that awareness down to our legs. So breathe, deep breath all the way down. And maybe during this time, in our forward fold, try to breathe out through your ribs or the side of your core. "15 seconds left or so. And gently lift up from that forward fold. Get your feet a little bit more together and move your blocks or whatever here to the side in front of your mat. And it might be nice just to get a little bit of movements in our back, in our legs, so you can do your windshields from side to side. Awesome. We're going to move into our hip flexors as they might be tight or sore even from sitting a lot, and into our hamstrings. So, coming up on all fours on your mats, and this time we'll start with our right leg to the front end of our mat. Make sure the knee and ankle are above each other. Now the left knee is on the mat, and my knees at least like to have a little extra support, so if you don't have a pillow for your knee or something like that, I advise you to fold your mat so the kneecap is a little bit more protected. Shoulders and hands on the inside of that knee, and make sure the whole foot is on the floor so you don't tilt it out to the side. Toes pointed directly at the long end of the mat, so not out to the side. And staying here, moving your hip a little bit forward and down, might be enough, but if you want to stay here for a little bit longer, you can sink down using your equipment so you can rest a little bit better on there. I'm just going to show you. So maybe like this. And again, a little bit like 3 minutes. So letting gravity do its work as you let your hips sink low, breathe. And trying to stay present without condemning thoughts or judging thoughts that might come popping up in your mind. All the worries and all the things going on in your mind, they will still be there when you're done, and you don't have to think about them now. So practice staying with your breath. Being quiet in God's presence as you breathe. And be mindful not to force anything. So if you feel like, I can't stay here anymore, maybe just take one breath and then exhale out and do a little bit of movement if you need to. Don't force yourself into stretches that your body or your soul or your mind is not ready for. And then move away up on your hands. Doing Yin Yoga might not be hard in the sense of working out, but you can definitely feel it. I would advise you to come on all fours and just do a little bit of movement, especially where you feel the stretches the most. Getting ready to make the same stretch on the other side, so taking your time, moving stuff around. This time, right knee is on the mat and left foot moves forward. Trying to be mindful of where we place our feet and knees and everything. So knees on the ground, move your hip forward and down. Take a look at knee and ankle just above each other, and again, toes pointing directly aligned with the long end of the mat. Preparing your stuff here, whatever way makes sense. And sink into your stretch. And you don't have to go the deepest, just at the first few seconds, taking your time. And as you breathe deeply, probably you'll feel that your body has easier time relaxing, moving, accepting actually the stretch that you're getting into. If there are any areas in your life where you really need the strength from God, remind yourself that the battle is not yours. If you feel like you're in a battle somehow, need the strength. God walks ahead of you. The Bible says that God fights the battles for us. So don't find the strength just by looking inside, but find the strength by looking at God's power, God's creation. Accepting His plans and letting go of controlling every single second of your life. Get ready to move out of the stretch. Again, try to be slow. This is a slow practice, and when we move in and out of different poses, take your time. Again, all fours or whatever kind of pose or stretch you feel like is necessary to get your body going. Let's take a second, well, not just a second, but just a small break in our yin class, finding child's pose. Also get some relaxation somewhat into your hip flexors as they're bended right now. So let your heels sink, or your buttocks sink towards your heels, forehead on the ground or on your hands, and stay here just for 30 seconds or so. And then lift up on your knees again. Moving further into our lower back. So again, you can use your block, but if you have a block like I have here, it might be a little bit too hard, so you can wrap your blanket or use the bolster. We're going to use the bolster at our lower back. So put it underneath your lumbar back and make sure if you have back issues that you don't do anything too much or that this is too tall for your back. So just be mindful as you lean back Now, some people really love just having their head hang here. Mine doesn't particularly like that, so I use the block to support my head a little bit. So, the pillow or whatever you have underneath your lower back, and you can take your arms out to the side. And this is the back bend. And again, close your eyes. And try to see if you can relax into this pose. Any dis-ease or uncomfortable tension in your lower back, just remove the bolster and just lay down on flat on the back. Feet fall a little bit out to the side, just like as the pinky toes is a little bit more heavy than the other feet or toes. Let your awareness move to your breath. And notice how your belly and chest moves a little bit different here in your back bend as you inhale. Soften your shoulders and your face if you have not already. And you can open up your eyes. Ready to move out of the stretch. I recommend that you move to the side of the pillow, whatever you have. And from there, move into seated pose. Just stay with your feet wherever they are. Bend your knees a little bit. And again, just a counter stretch for a short while, so not for those 3 to 5 minutes. Lean forward when you're ready. You can sway from side to side if it feels good. You let your hands come underneath your calves as you bend your knees. Let your chest lead the way so you don't fold your shoulders together in front, but make space. and lift up. Side stretches and spinal twist before we find resting pose. So you might want to remove your bolster. You might use it underneath your knee if that's really nice. Well, you're going to lay down on your back, on the long end of the mat. Take your hands above your head, and if you have any light that's really shining uncomfortably in your head, you might want to turn it off. Take your hands above your head, relax your shoulders. Find your right side. What side would that be? And then move your legs to the right side. Your arms as well above your head on the ground. So you'll have a shape as a banana. Make sure your sitting bones or your back here is on the floor. You don't tilt up and lay on your side, because then you won't have that side stretch. To further the stretch, you might want to choose to take that, if you move to your right side, your left leg on top of the right. That just stretch even further. And you might pull your left, or take a hold of your left wrist and pull your arm a little bit to your right side. And then stay here. Close your eyes. Getting back into that verse. Take heart. What does that mean for you? Be strong and take heart. You can again put your awareness down to your body. Notice where it stretches and notice if you have any specific tightness anywhere. Or maybe holding back from a stretch. Let it go just the last few seconds. Walk your hands back. If you wrap one leg above the other, unleash that and move back. It can feel really nice to hug your knees. All those stretches in our lower back and our side is often very helpful if you have any back issues because we're tight. Maybe one side is more tight than the other. So stuff like that can be helpful. Let go of your legs. And of course, moving everything to the other side. So arms above your head, palms reaching up, hands on the ground, and move your legs, move your hands to your left side. Again, make sure both sitting bones, our glutes are on the mat. And if you have moved your arms and legs to your left side, you might take your right leg on top of the other to further the stretch, but don't do it if it's uncomfortable. And you might take a hold of your right wrist and pull a little bit, because that will stretch your armpit a little bit. Closing your eyes, nose up towards the sky. Try to see if you can breathe all the way down to your toes. Relax your shoulders, your face. And move yourself back. Again, if you're able to hug your knees or do something else that feels good, do that. And then our spinal twist. There's different options of getting into a spinal twist, but I'll show you one, and if you have another variety that you really love, you're welcome to do that. I would advise you to move your whole core to your left side on the mat. Bend your knee and let the feet lift off the ground, 90-degree angle in your knee, and then move your knees to your right side, all the way to the side. Now I want to move you so that you are resting mostly on the mat. I hope you're not cold right now. If you are, you might want to take socks on and stuff like that. Okay, so you're rested on your right side. Move your left arm out the opposite direction of your knees, and either the hand reaches down or just the elbow. So you twist your shoulders open. You can either stay here, or to deepen the stretch a little bit more, you can take the top leg and wrap it underneath the knee below. This will stretch your glutes and your lower back even further. Either look with your head to your left arm or up, whatever feels the best. Closing your eyes, and again, breathing very deeply. Avoiding trying to stretch more than what is an option for your body. Returning back to the verse, it says, all who hopes in the Lord. Be strong, take heart, all you who have hope in the Lord, something like that. So what does it mean for you to have hope in the Lord? Again, moving out of the stretch, coming to your side. Wrap your legs free if they're wrapped, and move back on your spine. Let's take a few breaths with your feet on the ground, knees up, because that would just stretch your whole back. And then move to the other side of the mat. So move your whole core. And when you're ready, bend your knees again. Knee and hip above each other, 90-degree angle in your knees. And then move to your left side, all the way to the side so that your hips are stacked above each other. Right arm out. As I said before, either the whole arm can reach the floor, maybe just the elbow. You can also use your bolster or blanket to rest that arm. If you just hang it here, it might be a little bit uncomfortable in your shoulders, so maybe you need support for your arm. As we did before, you might wrap that front or top foot underneath the back foot or the back leg. Notice that your core, even though you're twisting it, or your spine at least twisting it, it's still aligned with the long end of the mat. Sometimes people are a little bit like folding or arching their back as they're resting here. Breathe into your belly. And maybe inhale, be strong. Exhale, have hope. Inhale, be strong. Exhale, have hope. Try to see if your awareness can stay alert to saying that sentence and the pace of your breath. And we have only our resting pose left. So again, come back on your spine, on your back. So how do you feel right now? Maybe a little bit sore in your back from all those stretches. We have really engaged our hips and lower back in this relaxing class. So resting pose is what we have left, and maybe you want to use your bolster or your blanket. Most people love this pose, and we're also getting into a stretch of our chest, at least a little bit. So roll your blanket if you have it, and if you like to elevate your chest a little bit higher, you might use your block there, one or two of them. Your lower back should be close to that edge of the bolster. And lean back, taking your time as you move back. So make sure you feel comfortable, you're not cold. Maybe you take a blanket on top of yourself. Let your feet falls out to the ground. Some prefer to stay in there, I call it butterfly pose, but it's a little bit intense if you want to relax. So I just stretch out my legs. Hands either just a little bit up to the side or really far out to the side, depending on your preference for your shoulders. And I will give us 5 minutes here, and I will stay with you, so you don't have to turn off the video if you're here. But if you want to stay longer, of course, you might turn off the video now. But I'll give you 5 minutes, and I'll invite you to go back to that word. Be strong and have hope. Whenever your mind wanders off, just notice that it wanders off, and without getting mad at yourself, just release that thought and move back to that Bible verse. The Bible is not a magical tool. It's not magical words, but the Holy Spirit still works through it. So open up your heart and let those words speak, trust and rest into your whole being. Be strong and have hope. All of this grounded in God. 5 minutes is up. Move your fingers, your toes. No rush. Angles, wrists. And maybe a stretch above your head, bend your knees, whatever. Roll out to the side, find this fetus pose on the side. And I hope those words be strong and have hope. Lingers in your body, soul, and mind the whole day. And maybe you breathe it in whenever you encounter things that is tough or that gets your system going. Come into a seated position just for a moment. Thank you so much for joining me today. May God bless you and give you peace. And thank you for sharing these videos and everything, subscribing to get the amazing practice of Christian yoga further out.